Okay. 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 So what is the learning? For self-realization, one can live a controlled life as prescribed in the Shastras and continue carrying out his business without attachment, and in that way make progress. So if we are doing the prescribed duties and do our business, but without attachment, and in that way it's the progress towards the self-realization. So what is the lesson? Lesson is spiritual or religious life is not for show off, nor is it any kind of fashion. It is a serious responsibility for self progress. Right? So a lot of people who become spiritualists, they try to show that they are big spiritualist or religious person. They are organizing the big religious events and all, but then they are doing all the abominable things which is not recommended by the sastras, like drinking or having the relationship outside the marriage, or doing the black money laundering and all those stuff. So in that way, they are generating all the very bad reaction. Okay, so that's what the Bhagavad Gita teaches us. Now, what the next verse says that one should perform your prescribed duty, for doing so is better than not working. Right. So one must perform your prescribed duties but because it is better than not working. Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Uh, So, so we all should be doing our prescribed duties. Okay, but how we should do it? How we should do our prescribed duties? No attachment. With no attachment to what? To the result. Very good, Sridhar. Okay. Now, so there is an important difference, right? So there is one is doing karma. There is one is doing karma yoga. What is the difference between karma and karma yoga? So in the karma, we can say that I am not attached to the result. In the karma, I'm saying that I'm not attached to the result because that is the right way to do the karma. Okay. But it is not the karma yoga. What does the yoga means? Connection to God. So how we connect the karma to God? By giving the result to the Krishna. And that's the sacrifice. So that's now chapter 3 goes into the next few verses, will go into the concept of sacrifice. Right? Why the sacrifice? Yajna. Yajna is why yajna is important. Our life is yajna. Grihastha ashram is yajna. It can be yajna or it can be a source of attachment. Okay? Grihastha ashram can be a big source of attachment. For 99% of the people, 99% of the people, it's an attachment. Right? Okay? So, but we can make it a yajna, and that's what Bhagavad Gita chapter 3 is talking about. So we should do our work as a sacrifice, and the better is offer the work to Vishnu. Okay? Now, isn't that the case that when you do not attach yourself to the work, you are giving the result to the God by default? No, because the intention is different, right? And so right now, my intention is that I'm not attached to the work, right? So for example, I'm saying that I'm earning, I'm going to Microsoft, I'm making some money, I'm not attached to the work. Whether promotion comes, not comes, I'll do my work. That's one intention I have. It's good. That is karma. It's a good sense, right? That will give me peace because I'm not attached to the work. Result. I should be attached, means I have to do a work, not to the result. But now if my intention is, I have to do the work in such a way so that Krishna becomes happy. How can I do the work? Of course, the result I can offer. See, if I'm making earning, my bank kitty is growing up. I'm thinking, okay, once I get to that retirement, I'll donate all those stuff. Now I'm just making me happy. Let me okay. So even if by divinity arrangement I'm getting more money, I'm thinking, oh, my Krishna's kitty is growing, right? I'm thinking the intention has changed, right? Intention is changed. Now I'll work hard. One way is like I'm not attached to the work because I'm thinking I'm not attached to the result. I may not be working hard. Now, by thinking that is the work I'm doing for Krishna, I will be working hard. But I won't be working hard in a way where it is becoming opposite to the Krishna consciousness. Start working like a donkey, then I won't be able to pay attention to Krishna consciousness. No chanting, no classes, because 18 hours I am working, right? So then I become smart. that how within the 8 hours I can do the best so that the result can be offered to Krishna, right? And even in my dealing, I'm thinking, oh, Sridhar is my teammate, or like, and with Sridhar I should act properly because he's also part and parcel of Krishna. You see how the intention has changed, my interaction has changed. Understand the difference?
Yeah.
Okay. So when we start offering to Krishna, then it becomes karma yoga. Now we all have needs and desire. What is needs? What are needs?
What is shelter? Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Food, air, shelter, house means house, right?
Roti kapda.
Roti kapda makan, right? Good relationship. So those are needs. But then we have desires. What are our desires?
Better not speak.
No, we should talk about desires. We all have. Who doesn't have a desire here? Mataji doesn't have any desire, right, Mataji? so we all have desires, right? We have desires of we want to go for vacation. We want to, maybe this house is a little small. Maybe I should get a bigger house. This car is getting old. Maybe I should get a better car, right? Maybe get a red Tesla or blue lyric. so um, so we have all desires. Now, desire is for enjoying life. Now, but how to deal with it? So now Krishna is giving that. He's acknowledging that, okay, I know that you all have desire. And when you have desire, you are going to do action. When you do the action, you are going to get reaction. But see, now you'll appreciate the Krishna's, how wonderful Father he is. He's telling that you can fulfill your desire and still not get the reaction. How can you do that? Now, Sridhar is very happy now. Okay, how can we do that? So this is where we have to understand the universal principle, right? This is how the universe is created. This is the design of the universe. Okay, so Lord created this universe because he knew that we wanted to fulfill our desire. Okay, so he created the universe. He gave all the things, natural resources, right? But to make everything work, there are people in the back end. So we are in the front end, we are living our life, but there are people who are making the system work. Who are those people? Who is making the system work in this material world?
Demigod.
Demigods. Demigods are the people who are made in charge to make the system work. So like us, they are also living entities, but they are a lot more powerful than us. Our lifespan is 100 human years. Their lifespan is many thousand human years. Okay, so that's how demigods are. So now the arrangements has been made where people who are too attached to desire, they can fulfill their desire and still not get the bad karma, right? And this is where, so now who are demigods? So do we understand who are demigods?
All the other gods that we talk about.
And of course they have the purpose, right? They have given a purpose. So just I have a depiction here just to show.
Administrators, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, administrators upon Prabhuji. So see, just like in any government, right? There is a department, housing department, education department, justice department, healthcare, transportation, all blah 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 blah, and there are minister for that, right? So there is a different administrators are there. Similarly, demigods, there is a different demigod for the different administration. Okay, that's how we should understand. So we have Indra, Chandra, Varuna, right? So and they're empowered. They are given the power. They are given the power by whom? So in the government, the ministers are given the power by whom? By the president or the prime minister, depending on how the government is, right? Similarly, demigods are given the power by the Vishnu. Vishnu is the representation of Krishna, right? So now, for example, Department of Intelligence is Ganeshji, water, Varuna, learning, Saraswati, justice, Yamrajji, right? Light, Surya, Chandra, air, Vayu. You got the point, right? So they are empowered beings. So what we learned when we are going to the verse 12, 13 is telling that those who are performing the work and not offering as a sacrifice, they are called thieves. And when they are called thieves, means they are going to get punishment because they are not offering the sacrifice. They are getting, so I am getting all the fruit from the natural world, from this world, from the tree, from the plant. but I'm not taking care of the tree. I'm not taking care of the plant. I'm on the other hand, I'm cutting the tree, right? And even though I don't need it, I'll take out the plant and I'll say, oh no, I'll just for me, and then all the things will get waste, right? That's what just giving the other example, right? So that case, I'm acting as a thief. While if I take it properly, and then I should say that, oh, these demigods are making it happen, and then I do those yajna. That's the reason why in our Sanatan Dharma there is a provision of yajna. Doesn't matter whether you live in South, Bombay, or Delhi, or anywhere. All the cultures used to have the purpose of yajna. These are similarly getting diminished and lost altogether, but that is the purpose. Now, how we how the whole ecosystem, the God ecosystem works. So first we have to realize that, see, nothing belongs to us. Nothing belongs to us. This house, the car, house is made of, right, the matter, right? We didn't create the matter, right? The food, it is coming because there is a rain. If there is no rain, we cannot grow the food. There is no sun, we cannot get the grow the food. If there is no moon, there won't be any taste in the food. The moon provides the taste in the food. Okay, so there won't be any taste in the food. So once we understand, hey, these all things are coming by the arrangements of this material nature, which is behind the scene, is arranged by the demigods who are empowered by Vishnu, then we'll become grateful. So all you see, most culture they try to teach gratefulness. Now today, like even in the yoga, people go to the yoga studio, they say that, oh, be grateful. You go to the mindfulness, they say be grateful. So it doesn't matter whatever practice we do, being grateful is a very important facet. But who should be grateful? That's where it differs, right? Whatever Sanatana Dharma says that we should be grateful to the Supreme Lord. Okay, but we start again, at least start being grateful. So right, so this is the concept which is being taught in chapter 3, that we should understand that who is behind the scene, which is the demigod, and we should follow if we have desire. So question here, so that understand the condition. If we have desires and we want the fulfillment of the desire, then one should be following these rules. Because in the further it will come up that if you are totally Krishna conscious and you want to do everything for pleasing Krishna, then you don't need to follow any rules and regulation like this. Okay, so just want to clarify. So this is for the people who want to fulfill their desire. So first we need to understand that I really want to fulfill our desire. Okay, so now there is a nice book, Food Yoga, Nourishing Body, Mind, and Soul. So people like who are still thinking how the different food nourishes our life. There's a very nice book. Here the author goes into the same thing, the concept we have gone, but it goes into a very nice way. He goes into the concept. So if some of you are buying the book and reading, definitely after reading, please come in the class and talk your experience. What did you learn about from the book? Okay, so Food Yoga, Nourishing Body, Mind, and Soul. It can be very good read for the people who are thinking of coming to the sattvic style food, or they want to understand how the food matters to me and how, why, and to my mind, right? So it's a wonderful thing. Now, this verse 14 was making the connection, right? How the 14 to 16. So we read up to 14 last time, right? So now 14 to 16, how the connections are being made. So chapter 3 is telling that we should do the sacrifice. But where the sacrifice is coming from? From the prescribed duties, right? Where the prescribed duties are coming from? From the Vedas. And Vedas are the word of God. So you see the connection? Supreme Lord, Veda is the word of Lord. Okay, Veda recommends that everybody should do the prescribed duties. And then it says that while you're doing the prescribed duty, you should do it as an act of sacrifice. When we do that as an act of sacrifice, the rains, right, the demigod behind the scene will be happy. Okay, and then there will be a lot of food grain in the world. And then when the food grains are there, then people will be healthy and happy. And then when they're happy and healthy, they are not generating all the bad karma because they are doing the prescribed duties and they are doing the sacrifice. So cycle continues. Okay. So this is the verse 14 to 16 talks about. So a grateful person thanks God for everything and remains grateful forever. One who has gratitude in his heart is filled with contentment. So this is something we should always. So we are also telling, the Bhagavad Gita is also telling that we should be very grateful, but it's also telling who we should be grateful to, right? So we should be grateful to Krishna, we should be grateful to Vishnu, right? Okay, and we should do all our work if we have the desire. So I'm putting if we have the desire as an act of sacrifice. Now, tell me the difference between. So you have heard the word vikarma, you've heard the word karma kanda, you've heard the word karma yoga. What is the difference between vikarma and karma kanda? What
Vikarma
is
is
vikarma?
when you do everything with God's consciousness, where you are not touched by, even if you don't do the prescribed duties as part of Karma Kanda, you are forgiven, given all your karma is in tune with God.
So you're talking about maybe something else. I'm talking about vikarma. Vikarma.
Karma is bad.
Maybe I'm
Bad.
confused with
Yeah,
bad
you're confused with something, Prabhuji. So vikarma
Sinful
is the
action,
bad.
Prabhuji.
What,
Sinful
Prabhu?
actions.
Sinful action. Yes. Vikarma is sinful action. Okay. And what is the karma kanda?
doing the duties prescribed in
Yes.
Shastras.
Prescribed duties. Right? Prescribed duties to fulfill our material desire. So doing the prescribed duties, but the intention is to fulfill my material desire. Okay. And what is karma yoga?
Without attachment to the result.
Yes, as a matter of duty and then offering to the Lord. That becomes karma yoga. So here is the picture: vikarma, karma kanda, and karma yoga. Okay, so because this is where people get confused. I just want us to understand this concept. Okay, make sense? So this is the point. I will stop my presentation.
Prabhu, you described some time back about karma only. I think I am forgetting the word, where you do not even need to do the prescribed duties if you are fully merged into God's consciousness.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, and that's what we'll be talking. That's the reason I was telling that this act of sacrifice, what is being recommended to the demigod, is only required if one has the desire and they want to fulfill the desire, but do not get the bad reaction. In that case, one should do the sacrifices which is recommended in the Vedas. But then there is a path of Krishna consciousness where one did not follow the sacrifice as given in Vedas. So Bhagavad Gita will talk about that also. Okay? So you're right, absolutely right. Okay, so we will start from verse 15. You are seeing my one note, right? Everybody online? Okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, so let's read it. Karma brahmodbhavam vidhi brahmakshara sambudhavam tashmasarvagatam brahma nityam yagna pratisthitam. Regulated activities are prescribed in the Vedas, and the Vedas are directly manifested from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Consequently, the all-pervading transcendence is eternally situated in the acts of sacrifice. So this is the picture I was showing, right? Supreme Personality, then from him the Vedas comes. Vedas tells you have to do the prescribed duties. This is the verse. What is telling that? Regulated activities as prescribed in Vedas, right? Regulated. So we can fulfill our desire, but in a regulated manner. Okay? And Vedas are Vedas are coming directly from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. right? So therefore, all the transcendence is in a way indirectly in the act of sacrifice. Okay, so here just to read a part of the purport. Yagnartha karma. Yagnartha means the karma which is governed by the yajnas. Yagnartha karma, or the necessity of work for the satisfaction of Krishna only, is more expressly stated in this verse. If we have to work for the satisfaction of Yajna Purusha, Vishnu, see, Vishnu is called Yajna Purusha. Why he is called Yajna Purusha? Why he is called Yajna Purusha?
Results are offered to him.
What is the reason?
Because the results are offered to him.
His
The results are offered to.
Yes. So all the act of sacrifice doesn't matter if you are giving the sacrifice to Ganesh ji or to the Durga ji. To all the demigod we offer a sacrifice, ultimately it goes to Vishnu. Okay. So that's the Yajna Purusha. That's the reason with any ritual you will hear the name Vishnu. Whenever they do, Brahmins, they are doing the mantra, they are saying the mantra, you will hear the name of Vishnu there. Okay. So, okay. So, if we have to work for the satisfaction of Yajna Purusha, Vishnu, just let me move. Okay. If we have to work for the satisfaction of the Yajna Purusha Vishnu, then we must find out the direction of work in Brahman or the transcendental Veda. The Vedas are therefore codes of working directions. How we should work? That is, that those codes are mentioned in the Vedas. Anything performed without the direction of the Veda is called Vikarma. So, what is the difference between karma and Vikarma? In karma, one is following the prescribed directions, and in Vikarma, one is saying, I will do whatever I like. Okay? Or unauthorized or sinful work. Therefore, one should always take direction from the Vedas to be saved from the reaction of work. This is for the people who have desires. Okay, I'm just repeating. Okay. So now here there's a reference, Prabhupada mentioned the reference that all the Vedas, and he's from coming from the Brahmad Aranyakya Upanishad, that all the emanations from all the Vedas, it is actually the emanation from the breathing of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just when he breathes, the Vedas manifest, right? So and so the people say, oh, he doesn't even speak. Yes, God, and so there is a citation. There is a Prabhupada mentioned that, and we have talked about it. Like Lord's senses are not like us. Like with hand I can do the work, with eyes I can see. Lord, and for mouth I can eat. Lord can eat with his eyes, right? So Lord doesn't. All his senses can do all the things. Okay, so when he breathes, the Vedas are produced. So that's how great the God is. So anybody would like to read this highlighted text?
After creating or impregnating the conditioned souls into the form of material nature, he gives his direction in the Vedic wisdom as to how such conditioned souls can return home back to Godhead. We should always remember that conditioned souls in material nature are all eager for material enjoyment, but the Vedic directions are so made that one can satisfy one's perverted desires, then return to Godhead, having finished his so-called enjoyment. It is a chance for the conditioned souls to attain liberation. Therefore, the conditioned souls must try to follow the process of yajna by becoming Krishna conscious.
Okay, see. Now, after reading this paragraph, do you think this paragraph gives a reason to be grateful to the Lord? And why?
Lord in the complete ecosystem to do that.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. Still, so see, it's just like you have a teenage kid, right, who just doesn't want to follow your direction, thinking, it is my life, let me live my life. Okay, whatever I do, I don't want you, I don't want you to bother me. And then the kids leave the house. Okay, still, as a father, you are unhappy, but you are not mad. So we will become mad if our son or daughter does. We will become mad. No relationship with you, whatever, right? But with the this father, Krishna, he is making the arrangement. Even if the sun has run out, he's making the arrangement that okay, I will take care of him from the distance. I will have my people just watch him, make sure that he can struggle and he can falter, but I'll make all the arrangements that whenever he wants to come back, there is a way back home. Okay. And then as he enjoying his life, make sure that he doesn't get into too much of a risk. If he follows me a little bit, right? So if he has little love, he'll say, okay, no, okay, my father after all was not too bad. Whatever I'm doing, I still remember my father. I want to enjoy. I want to have a girlfriend. Okay, still I'll remember my father. Okay, he was a nice man, I think, right? So at least even if that intention, one can enjoy, right? And still he's not getting all the reactions. So that kind of a father he is. Just think that how, if we think like that, we'll become more grateful, right? How he has created the whole manifestation and system where one can enjoy, one can, the people who have a desire, they can enjoy and still doesn't get all the bad reaction. Okay? It's a very amazing thing what how wonderful our Lord is. Evam pravartitam chakram nanu vartaya yatitaya aghayu indriyarmo mogham partha sajivati. My dear Arjuna, one who does not follow in human life the cycle of sacrifice, thus established by the Vedas, certainly leads a life full of sin. Living only for the satisfaction of the senses, such a person lives in vain. Right? So if one is not trying to fulfill the desire, but they are not doing the sacrifice, their life is full of sin, and this life is a waste. Okay? So human, by nature's law, this human form of life is specifically meant for self-realization, right? In either of the three ways, namely Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, or Bhakti Yoga, there is no necessity of rigidly following the performance of the prescribed duties. Now here, pay the attention. Here, this is what I've been talking about, right? Here, Prabhupada is also mentioning in the purport, just for clarification. Otherwise, people think, oh, my karma. Let's say somebody reads the chapter 3 and they don't come to the class after that. Then they will see that, okay, my life should be always for, they will think that I have read Bhagavad Gita, even though they read only up to chapter 3, right? My life should be just to go and do all the yajnas, right? So, but then you go to further chapters, then you say that, no, there is higher path also, right? So what it is, there is no necessity of rigidly following the performance of the prescribed yajnas. For who? For the, and who is transcendentalist? Yeah, who is above the vice and virtue, means who are above the bad karma or the good karma. They are not about the bad karma and good karma. Then what the transcendentalist thinks about? The transcendentalist thinks that how this work is going to benefit Krishna, how this work is going to make Krishna happy, not benefit. Yeah. How that works. So that's who transcendentalist is, right? So there is no necessity of So vice, but those who are engaged in sense gratification requires purification by the above mentioned cycle of yajna performance. But those who want sense gratification, for them this yajna performance is required. Okay. The yajna system is planned in such a way that sensory conscious person may satisfy their desires without becoming entangled in the reaction of sense gratificatory work. So Krishna even gives for the people who also are too much into the senses, but they follow what is recommended, which is to do the sacrifices to the demigods properly, they will not get entangled due to the bad sinful reaction. They will still be taking birth, right? But they won't be getting the sinful reaction and going down, right? At least they will be getting the human birth, right? As long as they are doing the controlled sense gratification and following what is recommended in the Vedas as far as the sacrifice is concerned. And slowly through that process, they will become purified, and then they'll think that why I'm doing it? I'm just doing the same thing. I'm trying to enjoy the opposite gender. I'm trying to get so much of money. I'm trying to do the same thing again and again and again and again. What is the need for this? Is there something more to it? And so just in few lives time, maybe in the same lifetime or maybe in few lifetimes, they will come to their senses and they'll say that, oh, I should try to please Krishna rather than trying to please my senses. Therefore, the yajnas are directly aimed at the particular demigods mentioned in the Vedas. Indirectly, it is the practice of Krishna consciousness. Because this is indirectly. Because when one masters the performance of yajna, one is sure to become Krishna conscious. So this is just the act, right? So a lot of people there who are doing the worship for Ganesh ji or Durga ji, right? They, just by being sincere into that demigod practice itself, slowly they become elevated and then they come to Krishna consciousness. And you will see a lot of examples, right? You'll see, means I have come from I used to worship Durga ji, then I worshipped Hanuman ji. I landed here in Krishna consciousness, right? Do you used to worship Sridhar, anybody before?
Yeah.
Who?
No, I mean, like, when I was in 10th grade, we always used to take shower and then come and sit in front of Ganesha.
Ganesh ji, okay, Ganesh ji, okay, Ganesh ji worshipper, okay. So see, if you sincerely, and now you are sitting in a Bhagavad Gita class, right? So demigods, they are servant of the Lord, and if we are sincere to them, they will make the arrangement for us to move forward. Prabhu, you used to worship any demigod before? Hanumanji Bhat. Hanumanji is wonderful because Hanumanji will definitely send you to Krishna or Rama, because Hanumanji is the best bhakta. He is the best bhakta. The ultimate. We'll share our stories, Hanumanji story. No, Hanumanji was my friend. Means I had like a difficult situation in my life, and always go to Hanumanji, and I'll talk to him. And sometimes it seems that Hanumanji is talking to me. Maybe my mind is talking, but I felt that Hanumanji is talking to me. You have some experience like Prabhuji, right? He is very kind. It's because he's a bhakta, Prabhu. He is a bhakta. Okay, verse 17. So we finished 2 sections. So one was Arjuna confusion. Then Krishna goes and talks about Nishkama Karma Yoga is better for Arjuna than Jnana Yoga, right? Because he has to do his prescribed duty as a Kshatriya, right? And how he should do it? He should do as an act of offering it to Krishna. Now, in 10 to 16, this is where Krishna goes that for the different grade of people. Some likes to do karma kanda, some who are doing the vikarma. He's telling that by going through these 5-6 verses, you will understand whether you are doing vikarma, whether you are doing karma, you are doing karma kanda, or you are doing karma yoga. So now, just these 6 verses, we can go and analyze ourselves whether what you are doing. So, Sridhar, what do you think? What kind of work where the majority of your work is? Is it the karma, vikarma, karma kanda, or karma yoga? Okay, think about it. Shiva Prabhu? No, Prabhu, you're not doing vikarma. I know that. You are just. So tell me, why it is vikarma? Or tell me, why it is vikarma?
Mostly like my personal needs only I'm working, or not majority I'm dedicating for the gods.
What you are doing?
Mostly like for my personal needs I'm working. Only for
For
my job, right?
Mm-hmm.
For personal family needs.
Uh-huh.
Only most of my efforts are going.
Okay.
Only very little I'm trying to do some seva, that's it.
No, but see, we all have to work because you're born, so you have to work, right? For self-sustenance. If you're working for the self-sustenance, it is not vikarma. That is required. Okay. Now, as you are earning the money, you are using it sensibly. Do you drink? Do you smoke? Do you go after girls? No, right? You don't. So, and what do you do with your money?
Yeah, some savings for family.
Okay. So that's not vikarma because there's sustenance required. Sustenance required. Do you make some donation also sometimes? Okay, whatever your money allowed, you do that, right? Okay. Outside the work, what do you do? You do some seva?
Yes.
So then how it becomes vikarma?
No, that part is, he's not talking about doing the seva as vikarma, he's talking about
No, even
the other aspect.
okay. So vikarma is when you're not doing the prescribed duty. Let's say he's not doing the prescribed duty. He's becoming a drunkard. He's becoming a smoker, right? He is not following the regulations.
There are, I mean, if
Sometime eating food, which is not offered to God.
That's okay. Still doesn't qualify as a vikarma.
Okay.
Vikarma means you're not following the regulations. See, so but in your thought, you are certain that now you know. How do you know that you should eat the prasad?
Yes, we know, like
You should eat the prasad, but sometimes we don't, right? So it's just telling us from the North Star perspective, we are clear what is your direction, but our practice is not perfect.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
True. That is not a vikarma. Vikarma means I know what I have to do, and still I don't follow. I will do whatever. That's vikarma. Now you tell me what you are doing. So okay, vikarma, we took out the vikarma for you. Okay, now tell me whether it's a karma, it's karma kanda or karma yoga.
The karma kanda.
Okay. Now in the karma kanda, we are telling that it is for my desire.
Yes.
Okay. What desire you are trying to fulfill?
Family needs.
Is family needs is a need or is a desire?
Yeah, combination. Like
It's a need.
Yes.
It's a need for you. Okay. Of course, then we mix the desire also.
Yeah.
Okay, that I want a car, but car is here in America. Car is necessary.
Yes.
It's like a scooter.
Correct.
Right? You have to have a car. So now, from that, and now how you're using the car? If you're going for a vacation, you're going to go and meet your girlfriend, or you're going to meet Krishna. Mostly you're driving for Krishna, right? So now you see how you're utilizing your stuff, what has been given to you in Krishna service, right? Now, so you're linking your work, your action to Krishna. So it cannot be karma kanda from that definition. Do you agree with me?
But I'm still using my karma.
That's required. That's required, right? That's what means. See, again, I told you. It means, so for your purpose, give me the example of what your purpose. What is your
Going to
purpose?
office, getting groceries.
Yes, but see, that is required for your self-sustenance.
Yes.
You have to go to the office. You have to go and do the grocery, right? Your neighbor is not going to cook for you,
Correct.
right? So in that case, you're self-sustenance. In that case, that's not vikarma, is not karma kanda either. Also, that's self-sustenance. Okay, so because that's the need.
So self-sustenance will not come under karma.
No, because that's required. Because the body has been given to us, we have to manage the body. The Prabhu is taking care of his wife. That is not karma kanda that he has to take me. But now he focuses all his energy on taking care of the Mataji all the time. Then that become okay, sense gratification, right? But if he's doing the so that doesn't really matter. Okay, so now in that case, your work becomes karma yoga.
So karma kanda and karma yoga. Karma yoga is where you are often the results to the God.
You are linking the result to
the
God. Yes.
But when you do not give the results to the God, or rather you don't think about giving the result to the God,
yes,
that is still karma kanda.
Karma kanda. Yes.
Yeah. So not in every action, when you do not think of the God, then it's still karma kanda.
So Prabhu, so now in my mind, 24 hours. I think that I should think 24 hours, right? I should think. But I'm not able to do 24 hours.
Right.
I'm only able to do 4 hours. Let's say. If you're able to do only 0 hours, then that's karma kanda. Okay. If you're able to do even for 1 minute, you're able to think Krishna in a 24-hour day. Now, for that time, you are able to link your thoughts or your work to Krishna. So, in your mind, you are telling that 24 hours I should link all my work to Krishna. 24 hours. I want to do that, right? But I'm growing. I'm still not perfect. I'm learning. I try, I fail. I try, I fail. Krishna is so kind, he considered that too. He'll give you the marks for that, right? That you are trying. So you are trying to link your work to Krishna. You fail every time the toddler try to stand and walk, fail, falls down. Again stand, fall down. But when the dad comes or mom comes and give the finger and say, okay, walk, and then leave it, again the child fall down. Again, so you understand? It's just like that. Our condition is just like that. So as long as we are in the North Star, we are clear that we need to connect all our work, result of all our work to Krishna, even as much as possible, even the work. But sometimes working at Microsoft, working at the things, it's hard to make the connection, right? Especially if those companies are doing something really wacky thing, right? So still, because we are thinking of Krishna, we are trying to think that Krishna, I would like to link everything. Please give me I'm imperfect. Still, in that case, you're trying to practice the Karma Yoga. Prabhu is actually not even doing Karma Yoga. He's doing the other thing. But right now, he's doing actually practicing Bhakti Yoga. I know Prabhu closely because I am observing him. So, but from the perspective of what we have understood, he is linking all his work to Krishna. Sometimes he fails. Sometimes he thinks the desire is not linked. Maybe he's going on vacation, and because I want to go to Hawaii, for example. There's no link to Krishna there. I want to go to Hawaii. That is for my desire, right? That is not Karma Yoga. But let's say then people become, the devotee become smarter. They say, okay, I'm going to Hawaii. I'll go to the first temple which Krishna, which Prabhupada has set up, right? The devotee thing, right? They go visit, they live in the temple, they eat the prasad. All the time they are every day, while they're in Hawaii also, they're eating the prasad every day. They are remembering the Krishna. So in day to day, even though they're in Hawaii, they're trying to remember Krishna. They're fulfilling their desire, but they are trying their best to link to Krishna. So that's the growth. Slowly we start making growth. Like for example, Mata is an artist. Okay. Now she can draw anyone picture, right? But then she's drawing her picture, drawing Krishna, drawing this. She's trying to use her propensity to Krishna, even if let's say she is imperfect, right? We all are. We all are imperfect, right? That's the reason. And how do we know we are imperfect?
They're not God.
That's the case. We are not God. But then how we know that we are imperfect?
It can be improved.
We don't know the perfection meaning as well. Like what is the best right way to do? Many times we don't know that knowledge.
That's very true, Prabhu. See, I'll give you the very simple answer. The answer is because we are here. Because we are here. Because we are here. Otherwise, it's serving the Lord somewhere. Okay. Okay. So, Kanda Karma Yoga is clear. So we use Prabhu's example. Hopefully, you all got the little clarity. Karma Yoga, Karma Kanda, right? So we should know. We should be self-aware. Even we have desire, we should be aware of our desire. And then try to see, is that desire something I can control? Can I link to Krishna? Think like that way. Wife can think of the husband, she can fulfill his needs, yet at the same time, she can always be thinking of Krishna. While cooking the food for Prabhuji, Mataji might be thinking of Krishna. It becomes prasad, offers to the Lord, become prasad, doing the work for the kids, thinking how I can raise them to become a Krishna conscious kids. So her act, her prescribed duty can be linked to Krishna. Same for Prabhu. You got the point, right? Okay. We'll move to the next verse. Verse 17. Yes tav atma ratir eva syad atma triptascha manava atmaneva cha santushtas tasya karyam na vidyate. But for one who takes pleasure in the self, whose human life is one of self-realization, and who is satisfied in the self only, fully satiated, for him there is no duty. Right? So for whom there is no duty? For this kind of a people, there is no duty. Okay, and this will be further explained. So who should think that, oh, I don't need to do the Karma Yoga and I can go and become the self, I should go on the path of Jnana Yoga? These are the people who takes pleasure in the self. They are self-satisfied, right? And they are fully satisfied. They don't need anything. Whether they have the house or not, no house. Whether it's hot, there's a cold. They are fully satisfied. They are happy at peace. Those are the people, for them, there is no need of any duty. Okay? Now, moving to the next one. Yes. Pardon me? Yeah. It's more. Yeah. That means some of the things we'll just, we just move ahead. Naivatasya kritan artho nakritena kashchana na chasya sarva bhuteshu kaschid artha vyapashraha. A self-realized man has no purpose to fulfill in the discharge of his prescribed duties, nor has he any reason not to perform such work, nor has he any need to depend on any other living being. So, for this kind of a self-realized person, there is no need to depend on anybody, and they can be totally be self-satisfied. And see, and this here the purport I've highlighted something. A Krishna conscious man does not take shelter of any person, man or demigod. Whatever he does in Krishna consciousness is sufficient in the discharge of his obligation. So see, if we are practicing Krishna consciousness, for example, Shiva Prabhu, right? So I know like all the time he's single. He can go to the bar, he can go after girls, he can go to the movies, he can go and do so many things. Young boys, they have a lot of aspiration also, right? But now as a young boy, whatever time he has, he's trying to serve Krishna, right? Even like I know both the Shiva Prabhu, they are in the temple on Sunday. They will be working today until 12:30 p.m. AM
Yeah.
to clean the temple and all. So they are trying their best to do and serve the Lord. So they are practicing bhakti yoga for these kind of a
That's
people.
not Bhakti Yoga, right?
What it is?
Bhakti Yoga is thinking of the God and praising the God, or play, singing kirtans, and that's all Bhakti Yoga, right?
Okay.
When you're serving the God, I don't know, serving the God, is there a name to it? That's Bhakti Yoga you're saying?
Yes, sir. When you always every day you love your wife.
Mhm.
Say that, love your wife.
Yeah, I think.
You think okay. Now you are talking about her. You are singing her praise, but you don't work and help her in the kitchen. Is that love? Is that love? No, right? You have to. So act of service is the greatest love for the beloved. Act of service is better than even singing the praise. If
Right.
means if we had right, because we that's how. So any seva we do for Krishna is called bhakti. Okay, any service you do. So when you are serving yesterday for the mantra house, and if you just while serving, right? So of course, let's say even out of ignorance, you are saying that I like serving, but why you are ignorant? Why you are thinking the serving? Why you are serving? Why you are like you are so enthusiastic? And we can notice you are very enthusiastic. And I don't mess. Let me serve, right? Why? What was going in your heart? Nothing. Why? There must be something. Why you are so eager to serve?
This field service is the best way to give back to the community.
You have so right now. Let's say even out of like you are just thinking that I just like serving, and why we like serving because you feel more satisfied. Even if let's say you don't know the reason, you feel satisfied.
Right.
And why the satisfaction comes because that work is not for you. When we do the work for other people to make them happy, we get satisfied. Okay. Now, if you just while next time when you're serving, you think, oh man, all these individuals I am serving for the mantra house, they just sang Krishna's kirtan. They all have become once anybody sings Krishna's kirtan, they can be called devotee. Imperfect devotee, but they can be called devotee. Okay. Now they are part and parcel. Now when are serving, they are part and parcel of the Lord. Let me serve. Now the affection you will have for them. You are going and talking to the people also very nicely, right? They were feeling happy. Oh, somebody came and talked to me. You made them happy, right? So that act is very pleasing to Krishna. What you did was a bhakti yoga. You did an act, even out of ignorance. If you did that act, Krishna saw you. It made him happy. Understand? So, so any act what we do for the Krishna service is beyond these karma yoga and jnana yoga. It is the bhakti yoga part. Okay. Verse 19. Tashmad ashakta satatam karyam karma samachara ashakto he acharan karma param apnoti purusha. Therefore, without being attached to the fruits of activities, one should act as a matter of duty, for by working without attachment, one attains the supreme. So it's reiterating now. So Krishna talked about those things. And then again he's concluding and just repeating the point what he has talked before. Therefore, without being attached to the fruits of activities, right? So Nishkam Karma Yoga, one should act as a matter of duty, Nishkam Karma Yoga principle, or for by working without attachment, because that's Krishna prescribed duties, one attains supreme. So this act slowly will lead to go back to the Godhead, because this is what is being recommended. So the Supreme is the personality of Godhead for the devotees. This is a very nice sentence. Just we'll read it slowly. The Supreme is the personality of Godhead for the devotees. Look at the one sentence. And liberation for the impersonalist. What do you understand by this sentence?
Where the devotee, the goal for the devotee,
Like doing service versus doing just stable and without serving and as isolated.
So,
Destination of Bhakti Yoga, destination of
They want to go out of birth and death cycle, but they do not want to serve. That is the second category. The people who want to serve, they are maybe devotees.
So devotees are the people who see Krishna as a person. Okay, they are called devotees. And impersonalists are the one, they don't see Krishna as a person, they see him as a Brahman, the light, right? So the working like this as recommended above, which is not getting attached to the work, right? All those things. In that case, the devotee, for them, that personality is supreme. And for the non-devotee, even though they are acting for them, for the impersonalist, it's just the path of liberation, right? That's what he's talking about. A person, therefore, acting for Krishna or in Krishna consciousness under proper guidance and without attachment to the result of work is certainly making progress towards the supreme goal of life. So here, I want to highlight making progress. So here, you see, the Prabhupada is not saying is making progress. So it's not that the person who is doing karma yoga has become a bhakti yogi or they are going to the back to Godhead. No, they are making progress, because to go back to Godhead, one has to start loving the God. The door to the God kingdom only opens once somebody has the relationship with the God. One can enter into my house only if they have the relationship with me. Understand? True, right?
Yeah.
Rest everybody has to wait outside. Right? So making progress. So we are anybody who is working on the path, who's doing the karma yoga is definitely making progress towards the supreme goal of life, which is go back to, of course they're going to go back to Godhead, but the supreme goal is to love the Lord and be good. Close the door. I think the door is open. Okay, towards the goal of life. Okay, so now tell me, is being a good man is called attachment or not attachment?
repeat that.
Is being a good man
Is an
Is-
attachment.
is attachment? Okay, Prabhu already answered. I was asking if being a good man is attachment or not attachment. So it's an attachment. And why it's an attachment, Prabhu?
Because there is a goal of being good rather than being right.
Right. Okay. So because I want to look good to other people. It's a desire. I want to be a good person, because then people are going to like me. They're going to sing glory of me. It's a personal desire, right? So it is attachment. So here, see, to be a good man or a non-violent man is a personal attachment. But to act on behalf of the Supreme is to act without attachment for the result. So there's a difference. So one is, I want to be a good man. Other is, I want to work for Krishna, doesn't matter whatever is required. Even if it's required to go for a war, I'll go for a war. For some, Arjuna could have been a very violent person. He killed so many people, even killed his Pitama, he killed his teacher. Was he a bad man? From certain angle, oh, for Duryodhana angle, he was the worst man. Right? But from as per the code of Bhagavad Gita, he acted in Krishna consciousness. Right? So he was the best man. You understand why this sentence is so important? That is a perfect action of the highest degree. That is perfect action of the highest degree recommended by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna himself. Okay? Can anybody would like to read the last paragraph?
Vedic rituals like prescribed sacrifices are performed for purification of previous activities that were performed in the field of sense gratification. But action in Krishna consciousness is transcendental to the reaction of good or evil work. A Krishna conscious person has no attachment for the result, but acts on behalf of Krishna alone. He engages in all kinds of activities, but he is completely non-attached.
So this is how one needs to work, right? If you want to understand how one work in Bhakti Yoga, so this is how one work in Bhakti Yoga. So Vedic rituals like prescribed sacrifices are performed for purification of impious activities that were performed in the field of sense gratification. So what was recommended so far, that is for the people who want to fulfill their sense gratification. But the people, but action in Krishna consciousness is transcendental to the reaction of good or evil work. So in this case, there is no concept of good or evil work. What is the concept? Am I doing the work for Krishna's pleasure or not? That is only the thing. Am I serving the devotees? Is this work, whatever I am doing, it is going to be pleasing to Krishna? Is this work is going to make this other person Krishna conscious? Right? In that case, that is above all the things which has been taught about the Karma Yoga path, which is offering the sacrifice. Because when one is working directly for Krishna, you are offering everything to Krishna, which is who is the ultimate Yajnapati, right? So that's the very important concept. That is the Bhakti Yoga concept mentioned in the purport. Okay, verse 20. Karmaneva hi samsiddhim
Karmana eva hi samsiddham.
astista janakadya loka sagraham evapi sampashyan kartum arhasi. Kings such as Janaka attained perfection solely by performance of prescribed duties. Therefore, just for the sake of educating the people in general, you should perform your work. So now it is telling that even if one is on the path of Bhakti Yoga or one is self-realized, and for the self-realized person, there is no need to work. Right? For the self-realized person, there is no need to work. They can follow the path of Jnana Yoga, they can follow the path of means they don't need to do any action, right? Now, it is going to a concept that one who is born in this world should do their prescribed duty. Doesn't matter who you are. So here is talking about Janak. You know King Janak? Who was King Janak? Sita's father, right? Dad. So he was the self-realized person. He could have said, I don't need to work, but still he worked. So his example is being given in Bhagavad Gita by Krishna himself. Why he was working? Because just to educate other people that how to work. Right? So these kings, they're called Raj Rishi. They're showing the path. They're not attached to the kingdom. They're not attached to the opulence. They're using everything for the benefit of Krishna or to make other people Krishna conscious. Okay, so Janak is one example of that person. So king like Janak were all self-realized soul. Consequently, they had no obligation to perform the prescribed duties as recommended in the Vedas. Similarly, who is the other person? Arjuna. His Lord eternal friend. So there is no need for him to fight the battle of Kurukshetra, right? But he fought because Krishna wanted him to fight. Okay, he even did the violence because Krishna wanted him to do the violence, and sometimes violence is required. Okay. This is one of the very key words. Again, all the verses are key, but this is the leadership principle. If you are all want to become a good leader, this is the verse you should always think of. Yad yad acharati shreshthas tat tat devataro janah sayat pramanam kurte lokas tad anuvartate. Whatever action a great man performs, common men follow, and whatever standard he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. So which leadership principle is? It is the management leadership principle. Servant leadership. Called servant leadership, right? If I say that I'm going to take care of my employees, I'm going to take care of my customers, right? I'm just acting, and then my direct employees will follow. Oh, this is how my manager is showing the path. This is how one should work. I don't need to tell them anything. I will just follow because I see the example, I see the result, right? So that's the reason why the leader has to be very moral in character. If the president, prime minister, or ministers, they become idiots, liar, lusty, then the world will also do the same thing, right? And look at our leaders these days. We don't need to name, right? Look in America or look in India. Like in India, of course, the things have changed, right? But if you see a lot of ministers, right? Even in the good government, there are a lot of ministers who are doing all the bad things. So they are constitutional people. They think, oh, this is also I can also do the same thing. And that's how all the civilization has gone. And that's the reason why we are in Kali Yuga. In Dwapar Yuga, Sat Yuga, the leaders, the kings, they really took care of their Ramaraj. We talk about Ramaraj. Why do we talk about Ramaraj? Because he set all the right examples. He set all the right examples. Okay, so, but in Kali Yuga, people are not setting the right example. But having known this thing, now we should try to become a good example. We should try to become a good example. So people in general always require a leader who can teach the public by practical behavior. A leader cannot teach the public to stop smoking if he himself smokes. Lord Chaitanya said that a teacher should behave properly before he begins teaching. One who teaches in that way is called Acharya. So who is Acharya or the ideal teacher? Who is doing what he's teaching. If I say I'm reading Bhagavad Gita and say, oh, Krishna is telling that, we shouldn't do any abominable thing. And one of the abominable things is that one shouldn't be getting drunk. One shouldn't be drinking hookah. There I can tell you, look in India, there are Gurujis who have a lot of followers. They have a lot of big cities also under their name. They like drinking hookah. They say, oh, this is, and they teach Bhagavad Gita. They drink hookah. So their devotees, their followers, they like their cigarette. He's one of my colleagues, cigarette. They said, why? He's vegetarian, but he drinks a cigarette. So Deepak, I cannot get
And
that.
saying that smoking itself, they feel as you.
Yeah, and then, my guru also drinks hookah. So I think it's all right.
They say it literally.
Yeah, so
The same whichever so-called.
So we should understand. Yeah, so we should understand that who is the right guru. Okay, so and this is I'm no one to criticize. I'm just reading what it is here, right? So one has to follow the leader Acharya has to follow what is recommended in the Vedas, right? They have to follow that, and we follow those gurus, and then we will become perfect because then we are connected to the right parampara. Therefore, a teacher must follow the principle of Shastras to teach the common man. The teacher cannot manufacture rules against the principles of revealed scriptures. The teacher cannot manufacture rules against the principle of revealed scriptures, right? I cannot make my own rule. Oh, I am a guru, I can make whatever, right? The revealed scriptures like Manu Samhita and similarly others are considered the standard books to be followed by human society. Thus, the leader's teaching should be based on the principle of such a standard Shastras. One who desires to improve himself must follow the standard rules as they are practiced by the great teachers. The Srimad Bhagavatam also affirms that one should follow in the footsteps of great devotees. And that is the way to make progress on the path of spiritual realization. So Srimad Bhagavatam has a lot of stories where the devotees are glorified. And they are glorified so that we can follow in the footsteps of those devotees. That how to become a good devotee. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? He appeared in the incarnation of Radha and Krishna combined to show the world how to become a good devotee. Right? Krishna, okay, came and said the Bhagavad Gita, oh, you should always remember about me, you should always think about me. Now, I don't know what is the right way to think, and like I think, oh, today I thought for 5 minutes for Krishna, so my whole 24 hours is good. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and he showed that how to remember Krishna, how to miss Krishna, how to love Krishna. Now, so he set it by example. So now that's a great role model for me. So similarly, there are a lot of devotees who have followed Krishna and loved him, Krishna, a lot. And if we just able to follow in their footsteps, our life will become perfect. The king or the executive, so this is again practical here, this paragraph, last paragraph. The king or the executive head of a state, the father, and the school teacher are all considered to be natural leaders of the innocent people in general. If the father is just showing like he's drunkard or he is doing all the misbehavior, the kids are going to learn, even if the father says, no, don't smoke. But the father is smoking, how the child is going to not smoke? Right? And the school teacher, if they are not setting the good moral standards, moral code, and they are just, hey, after money, or whatever, they are doing bad things, then the students are become like that. Right? Considered to be natural leaders of the innocent people in general. All such natural leaders have a great responsibility to their dependents. Therefore, they must be conversant with the standard books of moral and spiritual codes. That's the reason why Bhagavad Gita is so very important for the young people, even more important for the younger people who haven't started their life. Because once I understand their family life, because then once I, oh, this is how I should start my family life. One who is in the family life, they should think, oh, this is how should I take care of my kids. So, doesn't matter where we are in life, Bhagavad Gita is giving us a set of standards. If we follow perfectly, then our life will become perfect and we'll go back to Godhead. Okay? Verse 22. Na me parthastiti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana nanavaptam avapatyavyam varta eva cha karmani. O son of Pritha, there is no work prescribed for me within all the three planetary systems, nor I am in want of anything, nor have I need to obtain anything, and yet I am engaged in prescribed duties. Now look at Krishna's life. When he came, do you think he did his prescribed duties? How do we know? Yeah, he had a guru.
He
Right?
protected.
He followed the Kshatriya dharma, right? He as a king, he maintained everything.
He's not accepting others.
He's born in Yadu dynasty, but he's a Kshatriya king, right? He's the king. Kings are Kshatriyas.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was
Why?
adopted by what do you call it?
Oh, you're coming from the story of that he was given from Devaki to Nanda Maharaj? Is that it? Yeah, but he was born Kshatriya, right? Yeah, born Kshatriya. Okay. So Krishna was not supposed to do anything. He doesn't need anything. He doesn't need to show the world that he is a god because he is a god, right? Still, when he came, he did all his prescribed duties. So he will wake up 4 a.m. in the morning, and he's so beautiful. His wives don't want to leave him. There is verses in our Shastra which says that wife will curse the sun god that why you're coming, my Krishna is going away from me because he's so beautiful, so charming. The wife doesn't want to leave the husband. Still, he will wake up at 4 a.m. He will do all his things, right? which is required. He will chant his mantra. He will go and do the yagashala. He will do the sacrifices. He followed everything to the T. And then at 10 a.m. he will go to the courthouse to govern the Dwarka. Right? He followed everything. So here is the reference given from one of the Upanishad. Here is saying the Supreme Lord. Anybody would online would like to read this quote starting from the quote. This 2 paragraph.
The Supreme
The
Lord.
Supreme Lord
the
is. Yeah, go ahead, Prabhu.
is the controller of all other controllers, and he is the greatest of all the diverse planetary leaders. Everyone is under his control. All entities are delegated with particular power only by the Supreme Lord. They are not supreme themselves. He is also worshipable by all the demigods and is the supreme director of all directors. Therefore, he is transcendental to all kinds of material leaders and controllers and is worshipped by all. There is no one greater than him, and he is the supreme cause of all causes. He does not possess, he does not possess a bodily form like that of any ordinary living entity. There is no difference between his body and his soul. He is absolute. All his senses are transcendental. Any one of his senses can perform the action of any other sense. Therefore, no one is greater than him or equal to him. His potencies are multifarious, and thus his deeds are automatically performed as a natural sequence.
So this is coming from the
Svetasvantara Upanishad.
Yes. So see, so Prabhupada gives these things so that okay, we know that he's God, but then he's telling that see, this is just not Bhagavad Gita. Other Upanishad also is telling this, right? So he just and this help us grow our faith, right? That we are just not relying on one book, right? All the things that who Krishna is, and that Krishna, after coming in Dwapar Yuga 5,000 years ago, performed all the actions which is required as a Kshatriya person or as a Grahastha person. That to set the right example. Okay. So nothing to achieve within the three. So he had nothing to achieve within the 3 planetary system. Certainly he has no duty, and yet Lord Krishna is engaged on the battlefield of Kurukshetra as the leader of the Kshatriyas, because the Kshatriyas are duty bound to give protection to the distressed. Although he is above all the regulation of the revealed scripture, he does not do anything that violates the revealed scriptures. Okay?
Probably that teen lokas, whatever he is mentioning, that includes all 14.
All the floating planetary system, right? Earth is the middle planetary system, above lokas and below lokas. That's the reason why it's called all the 3 lokas. Okay? Yadi hai aham na varteyam jatu karmani atandrita mama vartamanu manu vartante manushya partha sarvashah. For if I ever fail to engage in carefully performing prescribed duties, O Partha, certainly all men would follow my path. So if Krishna wouldn't have done his duty, the other was like, hey Krishna, Krishna didn't do duty, why should I do? Right? People misunderstand. Anyway, people misunderstand. Oh, he had 16,000 gopis. Why can't I have 2 gopis? Right? So people anyway. So see, in spite of he just being the perfect man and showing the example, people misunderstand. If he wouldn't follow and being the perfect, then the whole world will just follow. This is how my leader is. So from the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is understood that Lord Krishna was performing all the religious duties at home or out of home as required of a householder. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is recommended. That's where I was telling that he will do his duty. He will wake up at 4 a.m., go do this, do that. These are the stuff is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. So at this point of time, I think I will end the class because we want to end the class today on time. So today is the Rath Yatra day. In India, you know that Rath Yatra is happening, Jagannath Rath Yatra, and we have a special guest, His Grace Harivams Prabhu. He is visiting us from India. He will be giving the class on Jagannath Leela, or pastime, Jagannath Ji pastime. And he is very learned. So if in the scriptures, he used to live in Seattle, and he was the one of the faculty in the University of Washington. He is PhD from Stanford, JEE topper, um, uh, and he was now. But now, after all this thing, working in the corporate world, in the researcher, he has retired from this, and he's pretty young. And he's retired and settled in Vrindavan. He was born and brought up in Vrindavan. And he settled in Vrindavan, and then he is helping some of the Maharajas, the sannyasis, to write the books. Right. So he self learned all the Sanskrit, right? The music, art. Like, so he's a very good learner. So, and he's using all his intelligence as the seva to the Lord. So he is here. So if you have, definitely I'll recommend, please come to a temple, hear his classes, learn about Jagannath Ji. It will be very beneficial for all of us. Because Lord Jagannath, he showed how to love him. Okay, so Jagannath Ji is also showing how to love him. So if we follow that path, we'll go back to Godhead. Okay, so with that, I will end the class, stop the recording. Thank you very much for coming, and see you next week. Oh, I see that Pragya Mata, you have your hand raised.
I know you we are trying to wind up, but I have a quick question.
Yes, Mata,
It's actually a question, maybe a thought, and we can like answer in the next class. But I
okay,
am
okay.
wondering, uh, we are seeking for we we are seeking God's love, right? But God is already loving us, so whatever we get, it's because of Him, and we always say that we always have His love. It is us who are not able to see it, and we have we have different anarthas which come on the in our way to see the grace of God. So that is why I'm thinking like we are seeking God's love, but it is already there. So what are we seeking? Are we just seeking to remove the anarthas, or we are actually want to get more love from? And what will like what? So I'm not able to like connect like why we want more love of God when it is already there.
Okay, very good question. So now, so fact is, okay, Krishna loves us, right? Unconditionally. That's true. Is that a true statement? Yes, no? Yes. Okay, now, do I love Krishna? So now Pragya Mataji, do you love Krishna?
I love him, but not. I think it is doubtful. It is not 100% commitment or submission still there, and I feel like where the gaps are.
Okay. So now your answer is, so see, now you came out of Krishna's house, like me or like anybody else. We all came out of the Krishna's house. Now, now we have started realizing that, hey, I made the mistake. But still, I want to go to Disneyland. I want to go and do this. I want to do that. And it's a good realization that I don't. I think I should love him, but I'm not loving him 100%. And how do I know that? How do I know that I'm not loving him 100%? Please tell me.
Because I'm distracted, and I'm always attracted to other things and distracted easily. Even if I am trying to concentrate and believing that he is the only one who is true, but still I get distracted in other things, and then again I fall in the trap. So that
Okay.
repeats
Yeah. So now you tell me, when you got married, how many hours you used to remember about Prabhuji
all the time.
all the time? Now, if you love Krishna, you'll be remembering Krishna all the time. So that is the thing. So it's also Krishna will later say Satatam Kirtayantom Nama. Right? He'll say that my devotees, they are always remembering me and always glorifying me, always singing about me. Right? So this acknowledgement is very good that, hey, I know that that is the path, but I have a lot of anartha when I'm going through that. So what? But I want to enter into Krishna's house. Right? So it's not that love is there, but the problem is I haven't discovered the love myself. I believe there is a love because Shastra is telling. Maybe I have some experience also here and there, but I'm not I haven't rekindled my affection for Krishna, my deep love for Krishna. And this is the process of Bhakti Yoga, that what Krishna is trying to tell us through these verses. So that's the reason he started with the Karma Yoga, right? And later he will come to Bhakti Yoga, right? So this is what we are trying to do. So it's not that we want more love for Krishna. Yeah, love is there. But unless I show my love to Krishna, that I really love, by always remembering him, until then, Krishna is not going to open his door for me. Right? So that's what we are doing.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Sure, Mataji. Good question. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Krishna.